Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Angels and Stardust podcast. This is our 6th episode, which is quite overwhelming and exciting at the same time. I can't believe we've already reached the 6th episode. And today we are going to be talking about angels for two reasons. One, because firstly, the name is Angels and Stardust. And secondly, because I've been asked to write a workshop on angels, which I'm going to do online, and it'll be like a YouTube video type course. And I thought it would be a really good introduction to discuss the 5 main archangels that I use in all my meditations. So if you want to have a listen to any of my meditations, you'll find my YouTube channel through my website, and or do a search for Orla Allen and I'm sure it'll come up for you. And I have a series of meditations on there, which I've been doing for a number of years now. And it's usually on a Wednesday after or before I have done the circle, the development circle. And I record the meditation and I put it on there. And it means that if anybody enjoys the meditation, they can come back and do it again if they feel the need to. There's healing meditations, there's all sorts on there. But usually when I'm starting a meditation, I will invite forward the spirit guides, but I'll also invite forward the archangels. And usually it's either 4 or 5 you'll find in the meditations. It was 4 for a long time, and then a 5th one just magically appeared and wanted to be included. And they've never left. So that's always nice. So we're going to be talking about the 5 archangels that are included in my meditations today. And what I want to say before I get started is that all things spiritual are energy, and angels are energy just like anything else. And what I tell you these angels represent, I'm telling you what they represent for me. I'm telling you my personal opinion. I'm telling you what works for me. So if you have heard somebody mention something different, or alternative ways of using the angels to help you in your life, fantastic. I'm not saying this is the only way that you can use the angels. I'm not saying this is the only way that they can communicate or work with you. I'm just saying this is my experience and this is why I use the angels. I probably should mention that in my personal opinion, and it is my personal opinion, I always remember being told that the theory of God was that we as human beings couldn't fully grasp or understand the concept of what God really was. So to a certain extent, I kind of relate to that with the respect of the universal life force energy, which is Reiki, or where Reiki comes from. And it's the life force that everything comes from. So from that respect, that's what I feel like God means to me. So it's the life that's in plants. It's the life that's in animated human beings. It's the energy that surrounds us. It's in all things. It's in every way of life. And if we look at that, where organised religion kind of suggests that God is like in human form, but maybe in white robes or, whatever way they're described, it's trying to give us something which we recognise so that we can relate to the concept of God. It's not trying to say that God isn't contained within a physical body, that it doesn't have a physical body. It's this energy that floats about and animates everybody. It also doesn't tell you that God essentially is each of us, that it is one. We are one with the energy. We're one with the creative force that created the earth, that created the humans. So if you look at it from the aspect of organised religion presents you with a man or woman or deity, but essentially it's somebody who is in human form, and that's how they're presented to us, although they're godly. And for me, when I talk about angels and when I work with the angels and when I feel the angels, I speak about the angels in a way which implies they have a physical form. And it's the way I've heard everybody else speak about the angels. But the reality of what I mean when I'm talking about angels is more to do with the energy that it represents, the love, the compassion, everything that goes with the angelic energy, is what I'm feeling and I'm thinking about and I'm meaning when I speak about the angels. And like I say, these are my personal opinions. So as much as I will speak to you about Archangel Michael, and I will tell you what Archangel Michael can do for you, I wouldn't first and foremost say that is the only thing Archangel Michael can do. But I will also say that Archangel Michael is an energy form, and a bit like when we talk about spirit, we can put restrictions on these things, and if we put restrictions on them, then they are restricted. Whereas if we give them endless possibilities, we're essentially not tying their wings down. We're not holding them contained within an environment that we have constructed in our heads. So when I speak about angels, they're more of an energy source. They're more free flowing, and they're not confined to just the things I'm about to speak about. So I hope that makes sense to you. First and foremost, we're going to talk about Archangel Michael. So Michael is very interesting. Something else, actually, just before I go on to Michael, that I thought about 2 seconds ago to mention, and then it slipped out of my head there, was the fact that I have a great respect for somebody who works an awful lot with the angels. And to explain to you how views can differ, but essentially neither are wrong. So if we look at Archangel Gabriel, somebody who I respect greatly for their spiritual work and for the essence of what they bring to the whole thing and what they help people find within the angels and the other stuff that they do, is with this person, they refer to Archangel Gabriel as a female, whereas every single interaction that I have ever had makes me feel like he's a male. Now, that doesn't mean I'm wrong, and it doesn't mean that he's wrong. It just means that we have differing views, but we both agree on exactly what it is that Archangel Gabriel does. So my point being is, if there's something I say which you've heard different, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that we have different views on it. And that's okay. It's all right to have different views. As long as you invoke the angels to help you and to work with you and to do whatever it is that you need them to do, then you do you. Do you know what I mean? You do whatever works for you. And that's essentially with the whole lot of the spiritual world and the spiritual kind of stuff that we discuss, or that we're going to discuss on the podcast. So to get back to Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael is kind of like the head man, the head angel, not the head man, the head angel. And there's pretty much nothing he can't do, but he has roles, or he has things which we identify him as doing. So one of these things is protection. Now, we've spoken a wee bit about protection before on the podcast, so I'm just going to mention it briefly again. When I'm talking about protection, I'm not talking about there being anything you need protected from in a big bad wolf kind of scenario. What I'm talking about is protecting your energy, protecting your mental health, protecting yourself. And I'm talking about you protecting that from other human beings. And I mean that with the greatest respect and the greatest of love to other human beings. But when two people come in contact with each other and one person has been through some form of trauma, now I'm not talking any great trauma, it could be an argument with somebody, it could be someone being rude to them, it can be something really simple, but it's annoyed them or it's really got them to the core. So when you come in contact with that person and they feel like they need to unburden with you, they will talk about whatever it is. They'll be animated, maybe they'll be upset, maybe they'll cry, maybe they'll need a hug, maybe they'll need a tissue. So you'll interact with that person and you'll be aware of that energy and you'll feel that energy that they're going through. And then they're going to feel better because they've unburdened. They're going to feel naturally. It's as human beings, just talking about stuff gets it clearer in our head. It helps us release some of the energy that's contained within us, and it helps us feel better within ourselves. So they go away then, feeling better. What are you left with? You're left with that same energy that they had contained within them before they unburdened onto you. And unless you're somebody that's cold and calculated and really don't care about the person that's just unburdened onto you, then you're going to feel that. So you're maybe going to feel sorry for them. You're maybe going to feel sympathetic for them. You're maybe going to feel annoyed for them or angry for them, depending on what the situation is. And you're going to take that away with you. So you've now got this negative energy that's hanging about you, that's living rent free in your head. And you have to deal with that. And you have to process that. And you have to unburden that onto somebody else. And when you unburden onto somebody else, it gets lesser and lesser and lesser, but it's affecting more and more people. So when I talk about protection, I'm talking about where you protect yourself before you come in contact with that person. So when that person unburdens to you, all their stuff is left behind. So you'll have sympathy for them and you'll maybe be like, that's a really, really bad situation. I'm really sorry for you. I'm sorry that happened to you. But you'll still go on about your day and you won't be carrying that with you. Maybe you'll have a wee thought about it later. Maybe a little bit of it will stick with you. But the majority of it will be gone. The majority of it won't actually stick within your energy. You won't feel angry from it. You won't feel frustrated about it. And you won't feel the need to help the person, because just by listening to the person, you're automatically helping them. So you don't need to give them right or wrong answers. You just need to listen to them, and that's what they need. But you need to look after your own energy. You need to protect your own energy so that you're going away and you're feeling better too. You're not feeling this weight that's burdened on your shoulders now because of whoever that came and spoke to you. So, Archangel Michael, this is where he comes in. So if somebody phoned you up and said, can we have a coffee? I need to have a chat about my boyfriend or my mother or my sister or somebody I work with, then you can take a moment beforehand and just say, right, okay, hello, Archangel Michael. And you know what? You don't even need to know him by name. You can just say, can I connect in with the archangels, please? I need an archangel to come forward to wrap their wings around me and protect me, or to give me some protection, so that when I go and listen to this person or when I go and speak to this person, I'm not feeling the energy and I'm not taking it away with myself afterwards. So you can still be sympathetic to the person, you can still feel empathy for them, but at the same time you're not taking it with you. So Archangel Michael's really good for that. Another thing that Archangel Michael's infamous for, Michael's mentioned in pretty much every single religious text that exists, which is quite a thing, quite a feat. And one of the main imageries that goes with Archangel Michael is a flaming sword. So if you imagine when you come in contact with someone, you make a connection with them. Okay, so you're listening to this podcast right now. I don't know how many people are listening to it, but each of you that are listening are connecting in with me, in with my energy, in with what I'm saying, in with what I'm doing. Whether you're agreeing with me or you're disagreeing with me, you're making a connection with me. And you then go to somebody else, you speak to them about the podcast, you speak to them about what I've saying, or would you listen to this nonsense this Irish girl's talking about on the internet, or would you listen to what I've just heard her say? I really want to implement this in my life. Whatever it is, whatever the connection is that you have to me, we've got like if you imagine a gold string or a gold piece of rope that connects me to you, the listener, and you back to me. Archangel Michael can release that. He can cut that cord, he can cut that connection. So a bit like what we were talking about when somebody comes and unburdens onto you, he can release that connection so as that it's not there anymore. Now that sounds a bit kind of dark, it sounds a bit ominous, that the connection isn't there anymore. But what I'm talking about is that if you release your connection to somebody, you can release any negativity that's contained within it. You can release any hurt or any pain that's connected with it, so that the next time you come in contact with that person, you're coming to them with a higher vibration. Instead of coming to them with the negative energy which connects you to them, you've released that, you've let that go, and you're coming and making that connection again, but it's on a higher vibration, so you're much happier, you're much more upbeat, and you're making that connection from a much more positive place, which means it's a better connection, okay? Now, there's a lovely lady called Diane Etherson who lives in Scotland, and if you ever get a chance to hear her speak about angels or do one of her workshops or whatever, I'd highly recommend it. She's an absolutely amazing woman. Everything about her energy just screams angelic. But I always remember her saying about releasing these cords, and what she likes to do is she'll call in Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Raphael is healing, but we'll speak about him in a wee minute. So if Archangel Michael releases all the cords, so you've cords in front of you, you've cords behind you, you've cords to the left hand side, to the right hand side, below you and above you. So you want to release them all. So you call in Archangel Michael, you say, right, okay, you release the ones in front, you go through all the process. And then she likes to call in Archangel Raphael, and I absolutely adore this, because a lot of people will talk about where people are sending you negative energy and you mirror it back to them, and that means it's not going to touch you. And yeah, that's fine. You know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that as such. But what Diane speaks about is where you send healing to it. So where the cord has been cut, you send Archangel Raphael to give healing to you and healing to the person that it's released. So whatever it is that they need healing from, whatever it was that caused the need for the release to happen, has now been healed. So when you make that connection again, you're meeting them on a higher vibration. You're meeting them in a much nicer place. You're healed. They're healed from it. And sometimes these things run deep. So sometimes it takes a couple of times to release and a couple of times to heal. But what are you doing there? If somebody is sending you negative energy or sending you negative vibes, whether you're responsible for it or not, if you mirror that back to them, you're sending them back the negative energy that they're sending to you. So you're taking somebody who is a negative situation or a negative person already, and you're sending them back the negative vibes they send to you. And yeah, there's an element of karma in that, I'm not going to deny. But what if you sent them back positive energy instead? What if you sent them back healing instead? What if you sent them back unconditional love instead? What's going to happen then is that person is going to receive the unconditional love. They're going to receive the healing. Whether they know it comes from you or not, that doesn't really matter. But what you're doing is you're healing somebody who's in a negative place. You're healing somebody who's in a bad place. Do you know, we've all heard people speak about somebody who has committed suicide and how they really wish they'd reached out to somebody, and they really wished that they had asked for help. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. Wish they'd asked for help. 110% there. If somebody needs me and they reach out to me, I'll do my best to be there for them and to help them if it's something that's within my capacity. But if that person's already in a bad place, and maybe they're easily irritated, maybe they're easily angered, and they say something to you in anger, or they send you negative energy, and you mirror that back to them, what do you think that's going to do to them? Think about it. Here's somebody who's already on the verge of committing suicide, and you send back the negative energy that they sent you. That's going to make their situation worse, and it's going to be more likely that they're going to see it through and then, commit the suicide in the first place, or try to commit the suicide in the first place. So surely it makes more sense as an empathetic person to not send them back the negative energy they're sending you. Like, I completely get it. I do. I'm not saying I don't get it. If they're sending it to you, then they're only getting back what they sent you, so they deserve it. And I can understand that argument. But why would you want to make the world more negative than it already is? If you're somebody who wants world peace, if you're somebody who wants peace for the animals, all the rest of it, then surely you start with the people who need it most. You send back the positive energy to the people who need the positive energy. You don't send them back the negativity that they sent out, because something has hurt them, something has caused that negativity within them, and whether it's you or not, the last thing they need is more negativity piled on top of the original negativity that was originally there. So we start with Archangel Michael. He cuts the cords, he releases it. We then move on with Archangel Raphael. Raphael will heal the two sides. They'll heal where the cord's been released from you, heal where the cord's been released from them. And then we send in Archangel Chamuel with unconditional love. So you're meeting something which needed to be released, something which was negative, something which you didn't want. You've released it, you've healed it, and now you're filling that space with unconditional love. So you're taking something which was negative and you're flipping it on its head and giving it unconditional love. Now, that doesn't mean that you're fueling it so as that it grows arms and legs. You've already released it, so it's gone. You've healed the situation, which is, again, sealing up and making sure that it's finished, it's done, it's dusted. And then you're filling yourself and the other person with unconditional love, which is only going to lift your vibration. It's only going to lift their vibration. And again, if we're going to talk about karma, it's going to be good karma for you if you're sending lots of love towards the person who has been so negative. Now, I also understand that there are situations and there are people out there who have done nasty, horrible, vile things to either you or to people that you love. And those people are really, really hard to forgive. I get that. I 1,000% get that. Believe me, I do. But again, those are the people who need it most. Those are the people who need the healing most. And if you spend your time in a place where you are holding on to grudges, or you're holding on to whatever this negativity is, whatever it is that they've done, then that isn't helping you and it isn't hurting them. It's hurting you. So you're making a situation that's already bad and you're making it 10 times worse. The best thing you can do, as hard and as awful as it is, trust me, I know how bad these things can be. The best thing you can do is forgive the person. Because really what you're doing is you're setting yourself free. You're not hurting them anymore. You weren't hurting them to start with. You were only hurting yourself. So you forgive them. And then you set yourself free. You release yourself of any more trauma, any more mental hurt, any more anguish from whatever they've caused you. So to say it again, Archangel Michael releases the cords, Archangel Raphael sends healing to where the cords were released, and Archangel Chamuel sends in unconditional love to both you and to the person that is being released from you. Now, you can have specific people and situations that you want to release, and you can go to Michael and you can go, right, okay, I need you to help me with this situation, I need you to help me with this person. That's perfectly fine. Or you can just do a one fits all and ask for all connections to be released, because it doesn't matter whether it's a beautiful, wonderful, positive relationship or friendship that you're releasing, because when you come back, you're healed. You've been filled with unconditional love. They've been filled with unconditional love. And you're then coming to each other on a much higher vibration than when the cord was cut. Does that make sense? So that's Archangel Michael. Like I say, if there's anything at all that you want done, anything at all you want help with, there's no magic words you have to say, okay? There's no special way you need to ask for this help or ask for this guidance. Just say, hello, Archangel Michael, can I have a chat with you? Fancy helping me out with this situation? Fancy helping me release? Fancy helping me heal? And if it's something that you don't think Archangel Michael does, then just say, right, okay, can you find me the Archangel that can help me with this situation? Or here is my situation, please help me as best you can for the greatest and highest good. So Michael is the go-to man. And like I say, if you forget his name when it comes to it, just ask for the Archangel who helps you with whatever it is that you're looking for. And that goes for all the Archangels across the board. There's no disrespect in it. The angelic energy isn't human energy, it's angelic. Kind of stating the obvious there, but it's where it's pure energy. It's pure love. It's pure protection. It's pure communication. There's no human element on it. Now, if you go to spirit, if you're connecting in with spirit beings, people who've already physically lived on the earth and they've passed to spirit, then that's a different sort of energy. It's a different vibration. It's a different place to make that connection. But with the angels, they're just pure unconditional love. They're just amazing, absolutely amazing. And they can be everywhere at once. So please don't feel like you're a burden on any of the archangels, because they can be with you, they can be with me, they can be with every other person on the planet, if that's what the planet needs, if that's what people are asking for. So the next archangel we have, or that I'm going to speak about, now usually when I'm doing my meditations, I start with Michael first, because Michael's the main man. I finish with Archangel Chamuel, because Archangel Chamuel's unconditional love, and I always like that we finish off with unconditional love. Now the second one is one of two. It's either Archangel Gabriel or it's Archangel Raphael. And usually when I'm doing a meditation, it's off the cuff, so I connect in with spirit. I ask spirit for guidance, and I ask them to show me what I need to tell the people that are going to listen to the meditation, whether that's a circle meditation or whether it's one for the general public. And I let spirit guide me. I let them show me where I need to take it, whether it's down on a nice sunny beach or whether it's just sitting in a white chair in a white room. So when I'm doing this, if I find myself asking for Archangel Gabriel to come forward next, then I know it's something that's kind of in the thought process. It's communication. It's things that need to be discussed. It's things that need to be gotten off your chest. It's situations where you need to find the right words. Maybe you have to be diplomatic. Maybe there's been an argument. Whatever the situation is, Archangel Gabriel will come forward for that. Now, the other archangel that could come forward second would be Archangel Raphael, who is the healing archangel. Now, usually when Archangel Raphael comes forward second, then it's a healing meditation that we're going to get into. So they're just a couple of little things to let you know what I experience when I'm doing the meditations. So to get back to Archangel Gabriel is amazing. You'll usually find that there's one particular archangel that'll stick around you. Now, I say one, there's usually one main one, but I always find that there's probably about 2 or 3 that you have kicking about at any time. Just some will be louder than others. And for me, there was a long period when I started this spiritual journey, getting into it more serious, that Archangel Gabriel hardly ever left my side. And one of the things I find with Archangel Gabriel is the laughter. So I'll find myself uncontrollably giggling at stuff and then have to check myself and go, that's Archangel Gabriel that's kicking about. Now, Gabriel will help you with communication. He'll give you signs in any which way. If you've ever seen an image of Archangel Gabriel, there'll probably be a trumpet or some sort of horn type thing in his mouth, which is going to make noise. So listen out for bells. Listen out for doorbells and there's nobody there. Listen out for alarms going off, and like an alarm on your phone going off that you haven't set and it sounds really peculiar. Maybe a noise, your phone makes a noise that you're not expecting, or perhaps it's sirens. Now, you could live beside a police station and never notice the sirens until you do. And what I would say is that if it is Archangel Gabriel that's coming forward and drawing your attention to the siren or the bells, he's big on bells too, then, like I said, he's big on bells. So whether you believe it's a he or a she, that I respect your opinion, but for me, Gabriel's always felt quite male to me. And when Gabriel comes forward, if you notice a bell, and it's hard to explain, you can hear the same noise 100 times, but when Archangel Gabriel brings it forward, it rings differently. It feels different. You just know there's more to it than just the bell happens to ring, or you happen to notice that the church tower's chiming on the hour. So when Gabriel brings your attention to a bell or a siren or something like that, stop for a wee second and think, right, what was I thinking? What was I talking about? What was I saying in that moment? So it could be that you're having a throwaway thought where you want to have communication with a loved one, and Gabriel's coming forward to acknowledge the fact that that person's already with you, or they're trying to make contact with you, or you've asked for something. Perhaps there's something that's going on in your life and you want help with it. And Gabriel comes forward and brings your attention to let you know that your words have been heard, or that they're doing all they can to help your situation. So, like I say, when you're aware of this, just stop and think. And it's bizarre. It's the most bizarre thing, because you have to really focus, and you've just been thinking about something, but you have to really focus and go, right, okay, what was I actually just thinking about or talking about? And that will tell you what it is that the answer's coming for. Now, it could be that you are having a really bad day and all of a sudden you start giggling. So Gabriel will come in and lift your spirits if that's what's needed. Or it could be that there's something specific that you're asking for and he's drawn your attention to the fact that it's either impossible or that they're doing everything they can to make it happen for you as quickly as possible. So Archangel Raphael is the healing angel, and that's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. You can simply, without training, sit in meditation and ask for Archangel Raphael to come forward and to give you healing. So you can ask for a specific place, like maybe your mind is too busy and you want to quieten it, or maybe you've got a sore leg or a sore knee or a trouble spot and you want healing for it. Then you can ask Archangel Raphael to come forward and say, right, okay, as I'm sitting in this chair and listening to this music, can you kindly give me healing in my knee or wherever you feel that I need to? Because remember that healing is one of those strange things where your mind, body and soul, you're not just a physical body, you're not just a mind, you're not just a soul, you're not just a spiritual being. You are all three connected, and all three are connected. So if you have an awful lot of stuff going on in your mind, you're worrying about a lot of stuff, maybe you're a wee bit depressed, that has a knock-on effect to your physical health and your physical well-being. It can be as simple as you don't want to go outside and go for a fresh air walk. So that's helping, or that's hindering your mental health getting better, and it's making the whole situation worse and amplifying all the issues that's going on in your head. Perhaps a better way of explaining it is that if you have a headache, what's causing that headache? Are you dehydrated? Are you needing to hydrate? Have you not had enough sleep? Is there some underlying condition going on in your body which is stopping you from sleep? Is there a new baby in the house so you can't sleep? Is there somebody who's waking you up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep? If you go to a doctor and say to the doctor, I've got a pain in my head, I've got a headache, can you please give me some paracetamol for it? The doctor can give you the paracetamol for your head, but is that going to fix the problem? What is the reason you had the headache? We're very focused on fixing a problem, but we have to realise that sometimes the problem's outside the box. Sometimes there's something else that's causing that problem, and we may or may not be aware of it. So sometimes we can have stuff going on in our mind, and it can cause pain in our physical body. Sometimes we can have a physical pain, like maybe a car accident, which can cause us mental trauma. It can cause us to have nightmares. It can cause us to have fear of getting into the car. It can cause us to have fear of other drivers on the road, which is a mental thing rather than a physical problem. So everything is connected. The mind, body and soul, they're all linked in together. You can't have one without the other. So what I would say to you is, if you're looking for healing from Archangel Raphael, then invite him in for whatever it is you have the problem with, but trust that he's going to get the healing to wherever you need it most. And sometimes we're not aware of what it is that's causing the actual problem, what it is that needs healed. We're just aware of the symptoms, like the headache of the situation, that we think that's the problem that we need to have healed. So yes, invite Archangel Raphael in for something specific, but give him the space to work on whatever else it is that you need. So the next archangel is the extra archangel, and that's Archangel Uriel. Now that's a really interesting thing to happen, because it's not Uriel. The next archangel is actually Zadkiel. Now, I don't usually work with Uriel when I'm doing these meditations, but we always do these things and there's meaning to it, and we need to make note of what it is that happens when these things happen. So I'm going to take that slip of the tongue of Uriel as being a sign that I need to work with Uriel when I'm doing this workshop. So if you want to find out about Uriel, you're going to have to do the workshop. I'm sorry. So the extra archangel is Zadkiel. Now Zadkiel comes forward for understanding, which I think is just the perfect combination with the other four archangels, because we've got Michael that will release all the cords, will give you the protection. We've got Gabriel that will help you with communication, so he'll help you have the hard words that you need to have with somebody, or he'll help you to talk to somebody that you maybe are struggling to talk to. He'll help you with interviews, he'll help you with public speaking, he'll help you with anything where communication is concerned. And then we have Archangel Raphael, which brings in the healing, which is fantastic. So all the stuff that we're releasing, all the stuff that we're dealing with, all the communication we need to have with people, Archangel Raphael comes in to bring healing into those situations, so automatically making them better, and then they're going to be better because they're being made better. We have Archangel Zadkiel that comes in then, and with him we have the understanding. So we understand what's going on with everything. We understand why the situation had to happen a certain way. We understand why we had to have that deep, meaningful conversation the way we had it, or we had to have the shouty words if that's what we needed to do. So I always think that that's a really, really nice wee element to bring in there. We're not just healing the situation, we're giving you some context, we're giving you something which makes it all make sense. And there's a lot of times when we're hit with trauma, whether it's major trauma or minor trauma, where we just don't understand why things happen that way. And especially if there's something which happens, so where there's a series of things that happen one after the other, we're then left going, everything's just kind of gone belly up for me now. Why? So having Archangel Zadkiel come in and explain it for you, or help you find the understanding that you need, I think is a really, really beautiful thing. And like I said earlier, the final archangel is Archangel Chamuel. And Archangel Chamuel brings unconditional love, like I've mentioned earlier on. And I just think it's a really, really nice place to finish up. So you've done all this healing, you've understood the situation, you've found better communication, we've set it up so that the next time you meet this person or you're in this situation, things are going to be better for you automatically. Yes, there may still be issues. Yes, there may still need to be work done, but we're coming at it from a much higher vibration. We're then adding in unconditional love. So we're sending ourselves unconditional love, because I don't really think there's anyone on this planet who isn't too hard on themselves. Do you know, whether you criticize yourself for how you look, whether you criticize yourself for how you speak, whether you criticize yourself for your abilities, whether you compare yourself to somebody else and ask why they can achieve it and you can't, or you put them up on a pedestal and you try to achieve the impossible because that's their pedestal and you need to find your own pedestal. Whatever the situation is, we need to bring unconditional love into it. And looking at everything that's going on in the world right now, it's just absolutely heartbreaking to see so many people go up against people who really need support and really need love and really need help. And instead of calling out the political leaders and holding them accountable for the situations, they're focused in the wrong place. They're focused on the people who need their help. They're focused on the people who really need the unconditional love. And I think that needs to be turned back on its head. And I think those people are focusing on the people who need the love because they need the love themselves, because they need the unconditional love, because the world is such a mess right now. Ever since the pandemic, it's been on a downward slide. You know, yes, there was a couple of countries who did absolutely amazing in it. And I'm going to include Scotland in that. I think the Scottish government did an absolutely phenomenal job. And I'm really glad that I was in Scotland when the pandemic hit. But I think that the world itself has been on a kind of downward path, a downward spiral since the pandemic. I think it probably would have picked itself back up if the pandemic hadn't happened. And whatever your views are on, I'm not trying to get political. To be perfectly honest, there's enough people out there being political. But my point is that the world really needs unconditional love right now. The world really needs compassion. The world really needs empathy. Whether that's empathy for the person who lives next door to you, the person who's annoyed you, the person who you don't respect or you don't feel like you should respect, or they don't respect you so you don't understand why you should have to respect them. They need our love. You need your love. Everybody needs unconditional love right now. And I think the world as a whole really, really needs it sent out. So finishing off with Archangel Chamuel for this podcast and also for the meditations always feels like a beautiful thing. And I think if there's nothing else you get from this, if there's nothing else you hear me say today, let it be this. Don't hold on to the grudges. Don't hold on to the hate. Don't hold on to the resentment. It doesn't matter how nasty, how vile, how hateful the person is that's all directed at. You are only hurting yourself. You're making yourself sick, whether it's minor sickness or major sickness. There is no one that is going to hurt more by you sending that energy in that direction than yourself. So for me, if you can only do it for me, please consider giving that person forgiveness, because it's going to help you. And let's be honest, them living in your head isn't hurting them in the slightest. It's probably fueling them, to be perfectly honest. So if you forgive them, you let go of that, even just try just a little bit to let go of it, then that's going to help you so much more. And it's going to make you so much better, and it's going to make the world a better place. And yes, there's going to be vile people out there even still, and we can't fix everybody. But you are responsible for your own mental health. You are responsible for your own physical well-being. You are responsible for your own house. So please consider offering forgiveness for the person who's wronged you, whether they deserve it or not. Because it's about making your life better. It's about making the world a better place. So, like I say, if there's nothing else you take from this podcast, please let that be it. Please, even remotely, just even a fraction, try to forgive that person. Whether it's a major ailment or whether it's a minor one, the forgiveness is for you, it's not for them. And if everybody was able to forgive the people, the people that hurt them, the people that wronged them, I just feel like the world would be in a much better place right now than it is. Because we want to send out positivity, we don't want to send out negativity. And if that person's already done something hugely wrong and hugely bad and hugely negative, we want to get rid of that energy out of the world. We want to release it, we want it gone, and we want to fill it with unconditional love. And that's what Archangel Chamuel is there for. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. I'm going to finish up by saying your archangels are there to help you, but you need to call them in. They can't impact your life without you asking for their help. So take a wee moment, preferably every day. You can do it once a week, you can do it once a month, you can do it even once a year if that's all you feel the need to. But take an opportunity to sit down with the archangels and discuss where you need help. Discuss what you like in your life, discuss what you don't like in your life, and just invite them in. Ask them to help you. Don't forget about your guardian angel too, because your guardian angel knows you best. They know what's in your heart. They know what you want out of life. But they can only help you too if you ask for their help. So remember to ask your angels for their help. Ask your angels for their guidance. And if you're not sure what angel does what, then just send up a wee thought to the archangels and say, please, can I have somebody to help me with whatever it is you need the help with? And I guarantee that the angels will come forward. One other little thing before I go is don't be afraid to ask for signs. Angels tend to bring feathers, but there's also angel wings and all sorts of ways in which the angels can let you know that they're listening to you. Archangel Gabriel and his bells, for example. So if there's something that you want, ask the angels for a wee sign. Let them know, get them to let you know that your prayers or thoughts have been heard and accepted and they're doing the best that they can. And trust that if the angels don't give you what you ask for, they will give you what you need. So if they can't give you what you ask for, they will give you what you need. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. That was a really, really quick 47 minutes. And I'll hopefully see you again soon. So take care. God bless. And until we meet again, namaste.